All right, folks, how you doing? Hey, it's Frosty. Good to see you. We had a little technical issue, so our guest is going to be here in about 15 minutes. For those of you who saw the thumbnail, Jeff Garrett's going to be on. So what we're going to do, he is en route to his office. He's going to make a special effort to be on the stream. So he'll be on in about 15 minutes. If you need to make coffee, do something, go ahead and do so. We're going to talk a little bit about his history. And if you are in vertical mode and you want to go into horizontal mode, up at the top of the chat, it's pinned. So you can simply navigate there, click that button. It will take you to the other one. Or if you're on my homepage and you look at them, the one you want to click on has the orange lettering. The orange lettering is the one that indicates that it's in horizontal mode. You can also look at the title. If there's a little cell phone next to it, you're in vertical mode. Go click on the link and it'll take you to the other. Whichever one works for you, I wanted to make this as convenient as possible. So let's give you a little bit of a rundown about who Jeff Garrett is. So to start off, I have a question. How many of you know what the RedBook is? If you guys know what the RedBook is, I want you to put a 1 in chat. Because if you know what the RedBook is, then you probably know this guy's work, but you may not even know it. Mike Noodle says, nice hat, Paula.
You like that?
Hers too.
All right, so I see an Azure vote for Pedro, Jack, ruled, Robert. Yeah, there you go. Lots of ones. Obviously, you guys know what the RedBook is. But Jeff's done some amazing things. Jeff has been, yeah, Paula's got a couple of those. There might be something cool happening with those later on, right?
Maybe.
All right. Well, you want to know what this guy does and how quick he is at this? Check this out. What's up, Jeff?
Are we okay now? I got on my phone finally.
You must have a
we're all
fast
good.
car.
It's perfect.
Thanks, Mary Lynn. My wife helped me. That was always, every good guy needs a good wife to help out with their tech.
Ain't that a fact?
That's true.
So
how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I don't usually do podcasts early in the morning on Sundays. Usually I'm sitting on the couch watching TV or snuggling. So this is a little different for me.
Well, I got to tell you, when I reached out to you, I appreciate the rapid response and then the generosity to just take time out of your morning.
Well, that's okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate what you guys do to spread numismatic knowledge. So that's great.
So first off, let's do some introductions. This guy right here is Mr. Eric Byer. He works with Copper Coins. You probably know who Chuck Daughtry is.
Hold on.
And you guys get blessed with my actual image today.
Turn this camera off.
I don't know if the word blessed is the right word, but
I'm back. Sorry. I don't know. It left for me some reason.
Oh, no, there's two of you.
Uh-oh.
No, I got this one.
Can you delete one?
There you go. Look at that. All right. We got you loud and clear. And then the person that's next to you on the chat down below, that's Paula Bloom. She's a Connecticut rep for Oregon. So she's also with LiveCoin Q&A. Those are a couple of the names that we talked about when we were doing this. So, and then obviously you guys know Jeff Garrett. So Jeff, I want to start with a question.
There's two of everybody on mine.
There's two of everybody.
Well, you don't need two of me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One's enough.
I only see
Can I
one.
can is anything I can do on my side to do that, or
Does he have?
Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Is that better? Did that help you at all?
Uh-oh.
I can see you. Can you hear us, Jeff?
Hello.
you want me to log out? You want me to log out and try to log back in?
Can you hear us?
Oh, you can't hear me?
No,
I
we can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. I just see
Oh,
two.
okay.
I just see two of you guys. I could log out and log back in if that helps, but I don't know.
Oh, I bet
Yeah.
he's seeing both feeds because, oh, no, it says there's only 4 people in here now. It was saying there was 5 people in the chat.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Go back out and come back in. We'll see if that corrects it.
It
We
wouldn't be
apologize for
Frosty
the
stream
technical
without.
issues. So you
He
want to
said,
bounce
go
out?
ahead. Did you hear him, Jeff? Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Oh, I got blurry. I think he's just turning. There he goes. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Yeah. What a beautiful day here in South Florida. Sunny and
Oh,
65 right
dark
now.
out here.
Okay. Did that make it better?
I still see 2 of everybody, but that's okay. It doesn't matter to me, but
Oh, you're such
That's
a.
really
I
weird.
feel sorry for you having to look at 2 of me.
that's okay. I'm good.
All right. Well, the first thing I want to ask is I love stories. What's your favorite stories when it comes to numismatics?
Well, one of my best stories is sort of like an origin story, and there. So, in 1974, when I was 16, I won a scholarship to summer seminar for the ANA, and I had never flown on an airplane. It was the first time I had been on a plane. I'd never been out of the state, and I wanted. It was it was a really big deal for me. It was like it was like having a chance to see the world for the first time. And I won a scholarship to summer seminar in Colorado Springs, and I took a class in colonials. And my teacher that year was Ken Brissett, who actually sponsored my trip. And I spent the week out there in Colorado Springs. I got to meet all these neat, amazing people. And that was kind of when I decided that coin collecting, in the rooms at night, we'd buy and sell coins. And that's when I kind of decided that I was going to be a coin dealer. I said, like, I'm going to get back. I'm going to really concentrate on that. And then the kind of a crazy part of the story is, you know, 40 years later or so, I took over the being editor of RedBook from Ken Brissett, the guy who had sponsored my class when I was 16 years old. So I think that's a really great story, and it shows the power of the ANA and their education mission they do. And for the last 5 or 7 years, I've been teaching a class myself at summer seminar, kind of as a give back mode. So I love the ANA, and that's one of the reasons I became president of ANA. My wife's a vice president of ANA now, and I just think that's just a really great organization. And you can see how it changed my life, and 52 years ago. Oh, I can't hear you now. Oh, sorry, I don't hear you now.
No, I don't hear him either.
I don't either.
There you go. How about that?
Okay, I hear you now.
It helps to not mute your mic when you move it.
Oh, okay.
I love hearing about that. So let's go through a couple of things. The ANA, for those of you who are brand new to coin collecting, is the American Numismatic Association. Jeff holds the top position there. And again, a lot of information, a lot of cool training. I know that Eric and Paula have generated a couple questions, and then I know we have a couple questions already forming in chat. Paula, you want to take the stick and ask your first one?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know too that if you collect coins, you should be a member of the ANA. It is our national coin club.
And don't wait for the free membership.
Don't put me up on full screen. I can ask my question down here. Hi, Jeff. It's nice
Hi.
to talk to you. So I just wanted you to tell the story of the 1913 V nickel.
That was a great story. That was one of the other. I've
And do
I've
you
been doing
still
this.
own it? Do you still own
No,
it?
I don't. We sold it about maybe 6 years ago or so.
Okay.
So that was a great story. The 1913 Liberty nickel is one of the top rarities there is. When I wrote my book, 100 Greatest U.S. Coins, which was super popular, that book was on the cover of one of the editions, and it's always been kind of considered like the top 3 U.S. coins: the 1913 nickel, the 1804 silver dollar, and the 1894 S dime. And for years it had one of the price records. Well, for decades there was only 4 known 1913 Liberty nickels, because one coin, the Walton coin, had disappeared when the guy died, and no one knew where it was, and it was it was considered lost. And then in 2003, the coin, the Bowers and Morena did a contest. They said they paid $10,000 to see one, and the Walton family went back through their materials after he had died, and they found the coin in a closet in a holder, and they brought it to the Baltimore A&A Coin Show in August 2003. And I was part of the team that authenticated it. It was kind of like it was front page news, really really big deal. And then the family kept the coin for 10 years. 2013, they put it up for auction in a heritage auction. And the night of the auction, I called a friend of mine, a guy named Larry Lee down in Panama City, Florida, who I knew had a big client who might be interested. And I asked if the client, myself, and Larry wanted to split it because it might, it's the kind of coin that, it's such a great coin. It would be really neat. I know it's going to sell unreserved, which is a big deal. And we formulated within about an hour, we formulated a game plan. And I went into the auction, was sitting with my son, who hadn't even told him that what I was doing. And the auction started off, and it was also, that was almost 10 years ago. That was when people weren't buying coins in their pajamas at home online. It was a room full of people. It was 300 people in the room, and the coin started off, and bid to this 2 million. Ended up buying the coin for 3,127,000 with the buyer's charge. And that was right at our limit. But we got it. All of a sudden, the room broke out in applause. Reporters outside. It was just a super exciting moment. My son was astounded because I didn't even tell him about it. So all of a sudden, it was like this big giant frenzy of activity with reporters. We got to the office the next day, and there were reporters, came in to do the story. It made kind of like national news. And the funniest thing about the story is on Saturday night of that, after I bought the coin, Saturday Night Live on their weekend update did a skit on it, and they said some guy bought a nickel for $3 million. Now he has a nickel for every time he makes a mistake. So I made Saturday Night Live, which I thought was really fun.
Outstanding.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that was cool.
So the guy that owned it originally, he was on his way to a coin show or something, wasn't he? And he died
He
in a car
was.
accident.
He
And
did.
some of the coins were like
His coins were all over the road.
That
that's
that
the
maybe
fable, that
somebody
the coin
picked
was
it up
lost
at the
in the road.
scene.
Yeah. They assumed it was lost, and the coin for 30 years was considered like unknown to the community. So it was really big news when it was discovered.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a great story.
That is a cool story.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, that's a really good story.
I only have the 3rd edition.
Yeah, we just finished our 6th edition of that book. It's a super popular book, and it's been, and I tell people, it's kind of like what we're even talking today. Like I just told you a story. What makes a coin great is the stories. And a coin can be, there's lots of coins, there's only one known of, but no one care about them because they don't have a story. But if a coin has a great story, there can be 20 known, but it brings millions because it's the story that makes people want to buy them.
Exactly. That's what we talk about on this channel a lot.
Yeah.
The coins are amazing, right? And be careful getting into coins as an investment.
Yeah.
And every new
You want-
owner adds to the story.
Well, I get
Yeah.
asked that question a lot about investing, about coins. I've had people call me up, say, can I invest $1 million in rare coins with you? And I say, no, I don't recommend rare coins as an investment. I said, if you buy coins as an investment, it's like me going to buy racehorses as an investment. I know nothing about them, and I'm most likely going to lose. But if you start collecting and learn about the hobby, and you do it, over time, everybody I've ever dealt with who's been a collector, coins have turned out to be a good investment. So you've got to do that process of being a collector, not an investor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good. I talked about that in a video that we did live stream, looking at PCGS just as an example. And people, it's like, look at the tools, right? If you go look at the history of the coin, you can see that the price of many coins has dropped over time.
Yeah.
But the 1969S, it's actually, it's very flat when you're talking about the scope of things. But when you look at something like, 1955 double die, or the SVDB, or the 1909 8S, or the SMS set, the 64, the 65s, right? Those rarities.
La, 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 la.
Yeah.
Right.
But my point is, when you look at the actual coins, they have increased in value. So really doing your research, knowing what's going on, I really appreciate you saying that, because a lot of people just don't get that.
Yeah, another thing too, for I've had people who I've given advice we've talked about is like you just talked about buying the keys and the rare coins. As
Hmm.
more people collect coins, there'll be more demand for those. And if you buy a coin like an 81S Morgan dollar, there's tens of thousands known of. It's going to be hard for that coin to ever go up much in price because the supply will always meet the demand. So you got to buy coins that are inherently scarce. That way, when there's more collectors chasing those coins, they have a better chance of going up. And that's why the key dates have done well in the last 5 or 10 years, because a lot of people have got into coin collecting, and now everybody wants to own an '09 SVDB penny. Well, there's not that many of them out there, so they go up in price.
Right. I heard you say something about mistakes coin collectors make at a coin show. I don't remember if you were interviewing with Ben the Coin Geek or one of
Yeah.
the other guys, but you basically said people trying to collect high date common coins. Explain that a little bit, if you would.
This guy, I'm guilty.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a
the
hoarder.
problem with ultra grade coins is, you're a sitting target because I know like recently there was I think of an 1891 $0 that one of the young guys made an MS-66, and there's only like one or two graded, and then like another one got graded, and all of a sudden, you're a target because every time a coin gets upgraded, that one of these really rare coins that's a low pop, as that pop increase, the price just naturally goes down in
Yep, it
price.
knocks the bottom out.
Right, right. It just, and that just happens. I mean, there's been, ultra rare commemorative half dollars in '68. Some of them were, none graded for decades. All of a sudden they grade three. And then, of course, the price goes down. So, there has been a lot of demand because the other side of that is the people love set registries and they love to compete, and they really want the highest grade ones. So there is a really big demand factor from that point. But I always tell people, I mean, I'd much rather have my favorite coin is to buy a coin in a grade before it makes the big giant jump up to the next grade. So let's say an 1896 $0, MS-63 is, I'm just guessing 5,000, MS-65 is 100,000. Well, I'd like to get a 63 or a 64, not the 100 grand coin, because if someone makes another 65, then that's going to put downward pressure on that price for that coin.
And if somebody gets a 66, it will really put pressure on it.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. I mean, every coin show, there's guys paying $100 a coin to get their coin graded, and they're just taking coins they cracked out from one holder and trying to get it into the next holder. And it's a business for a lot of guys.
Yep. Or putting it in the holder, trying to have it regraded, upgraded in the holder itself. That's like a big deal.
Yeah, reconsideration, they call that.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
You're
on mute
muted
again.
again, Frosty.
Sorry. I do that so I don't inadvertently talk or say something to somebody while you guys are talking. Eric, you have a question or something that you want to ask?
Yeah,
I
more
do have
so
another one, but I
it's a
want
gray
you to.
sheet to RedBook Whitman question. When
Okay.
you guys took GreySheet over, it seems like the metrics change. I collect rolls. I'm a die variety hunter by nature. It's my zen zone. I get relaxation from it. So I have tens of thousands of uncirculated rolls.
Right.
It seems like the metrics changed on the pricing of the rolls. What was rare before 1923 all of a sudden wasn't rare after 1923.
Right. Well,
What
just so you
attributed to
know, the Whitman was owned by the Anderson family for, I don't know, 10 or 20 years or so. And when I took over, well, I didn't take over. I became a RedBook editor in 2019, and I've been doing a slow apprenticeship process to become RedBook editor. I helped Ken Brissett with pricing for 15 years before that, and it was kind of old school. Like, they ran RedBook kind of like it hadn't changed hardly at all. It was, it was a very successful book, and they wanted they made, Ken Brissett, was very reluctant to change prices he thought things went up too far, too fast. It was just very old school. And then about 3 years ago, the Andersons family decided to sell Whitman, and they sold it to John Fagenbaum and the GreySheet organization, which owns
I thought it was the
GreySheet.
other way around. Thank you.
No, GreySheet bought Whitman Publishing about 3 years ago, and then that's when John Fagenbaum, as you've seen in the last two or three Red books, his philosophy is completely different than the Whitman family. His philosophy is he wants to make the book the best possible. He wants you to have a reason to buy a new book every year. And
The improvements have been great.
Yeah, made a lot of improvements, and we also made some tweaks in the book that people didn't like, and now we're going to change them and go back and say he's like, hey, if we break it, we'll fix it. We're going to make it. We want the book to be, really the entry point for all coin collectors, and also for experts to want that you have the book. And for me, for 15 years, I did pricing in RedBook. I absolutely hated doing it because it would mean sitting in a basement for the whole month of December and working on spreadsheets, and it was just I did it because I really wanted to be known as the editor of RedBook, and I liked my name on the cover of the RedBook, but it was almost like a penance I had to pay to do that, and it was really difficult. It's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of it's a big book, especially when you look at the mega red. There's unbelievable amount of pricing in there, and then when it got taken over by Whitman. Now the GreySheet organization does the pricing. It's all kind of one big master database that is extrapolated and worked on, and the prices. That's where the RedBook prices come from now, which I think are very accurate. John, they work every day, year round, to work on pricing, and I think it's extremely accurate. And you should be happy to know that in the next RedBook that's coming out later this year, we're putting BU roles in the RedBook.
Okay, nice.
So BU roles for the first time ever will be in RedBook.
Okay, so it wasn't that Whitman changed the price; they just upgraded and reevaluated everything within the GreySheet when the merger took place. Okay.
Yeah, when the merger took place, it was a process of integration that is still going on today. And I work more now on content, like writing articles, getting news stories in the book, the did you know little features that are in there. Dive variety stuff. I still deal with all the emails where people like saying, "Hey, you made a mistake. We got to fix that." And also new scholarship every year. Like these researchers find new information that needs to be updated in the RedBook. So I do that every year.
All right, good answer. I like that. It clears things up because I was like, this roll's been $25 for 21 years, and all of a sudden it's $8.
Yeah. Well, it's more market driven. I mean, and if someone sees a price that's $8, it should be 25. Hey, if you send an email to John, he'll, if you got some backup for that, it'll change it.
You just look historically through the GreySheet from, I
mean,
I was a member from like 98 up until 2000 something. And then I took a break from it. And I just noticed after 2023, like when it went through, we had the phone app and all that, everything seemed to change.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I think the public likes what we're doing with RedBook.
I love it.
The 2026 edition sales are up 25%, over almost 340,000 copies, I think.
First RedBook,
which is amazing
ever.
Yeah, there you go. That book right there. Record sales.
Yeah, I always bought them a couple years old at a garage sale for a couple bucks.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to change them every year. There's going to be new information. Anybody watching this, you need to buy a new RedBook every year because there's going to be new stuff in there.
That's so funny you said that.
Yeah.
Okay, so say that one more time.
If you're watching this, you need to buy a new RedBook every year, because every year now my job specifically is to put new information in there that you need to buy that book, because it'll be something new that you'll learn. A new subject will be covered, and the book will not be the same every year. 100% different every year. And the 2027 edition coming out in July is going to have a lot of great stuff in it.
Outstanding. Now, Paula, you just said you're glad he said that.
It's funny that he said that, because the standard has always been to tell people when they're new to the hobby, get a RedBook, but you don't have to buy the brand new one. You can buy one that's a couple years old because the information is all the same. Don't use it as a pricing guide because the pricing isn't accurate, So it's nice to hear that you guys have done something to improve the pricing. And one thing we have to keep stressing to people, though, is you have to learn to grade. If you're going to price your coins accurately, you have to learn to at least know a little bit about how the condition of your coin. But I love that.
It's funny you say that, because one of the things I put in, I'm not sure, is this edition or the last? I think it was the 26th edition. You'll see in the beginning of the book, I put a grading guide for Morgan dollars in there. Mm-hmm. That before there was never a visual to what did a VG Morgan dollar look like, and what did a AU 58 look like, and now there's a visual. There's a photo thing in the front of the RedBook, because that was missing for a lot of people. They couldn't visualize. They would just look look at a red book and say, oh, my coin's they go right to the right column where it was gem. And it's like, no, your coin's over here on the left where it's worn out. So now there's a visual for that in the red book. And we're doing that every year with a different series.
That's
Yeah, I
outstanding.
love the little it's QR code.
Yeah, that too. That was a new addition
Yeah.
I came up with.
I really love that.
Yeah. You take a deep dive in RedBook if you want to. You can go as deep as you want. And that's just the RedBook. Now, maybe if you ever someone have another talk another time, we could have a really long talk about the Mega Red. The Mega Red is really a great book. It's the best book there is for the value for the money.
See, when you said that originally, I know there's a lot of people going, I don't know why he's talking supplements. So
Yep.
the Mega Red,
I've never owned a Mega
supplement.
Red. I need to get me one.
Yeah. So he's not talking about the krill that you take in pill form. He's talking
Right,
about
there you go.
a very giant book, a very detailed book. Absolutely. Anytime you want to come on, you have an open channel to hear.
Okay.
But
the Mega Red's almost 1,100 pages.
So it's a volume, a little one.
Yeah. Well, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good for what the other fellow was talking about dive varieties. There's tons of dive variety information in the book. That's why people really like it.
Do you have minting
Outstanding.
process information in there?
I don't know that 100%. That's a good question. We'll check on that. If we don't, we'll put it in.
Good. Thank you.
So I want to shift a little bit, and I want to ask a question. This is opinion. If you say I would rather not discuss, then the answer is I'd rather not discuss. Paul, Eric, and I are on panel on our own channels as well as on this one. We come on the weekend. We talk to a lot of people. And one thing that we've seen, and Mike Nodelman, Coin Show Podcast, he's in chat. He wants me to make sure you say hi.
Hi.
But they go on immediately after us, and so just so you're aware that they're on afterwards. But anyway, he wanted me to make sure I say hi. And he asks a question about the Red Book and did they print more copies? I missed that.
Yeah, they do. They do. They've had to print more copies this year. I think they're in the second or third printing.
Nice.
Outstanding. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that question. And I said hi, and I saw his name, and I wanted to go back. The United States Mint pricing of things like the clad set. We understand the bullion because of the prices of silver and gold and stuff like that.
Kind of.
But I would like you to touch on what your thoughts on the pricing of that is. But the more important one that is kind of the one that it bothers me a little bit, I wanted to get your feel for, is what are your thoughts on some of the auctions that the United States Mint is doing? Do you think it takes away from the opportunity of the common collector? Or do you think it's a really good way to build publicity into the hobby? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not a fan of the Mint for, it's a couple different subjects, or not subjects, levels there. First of all, I'm not a fan of the Mint making rarities like a coin with a mintage of 230 coins or 232 is what it was for that one, or the other issues, or they made the Privy Mark coins. I think that is a let me kind of put it. I think it kind of takes away the average collector. I mean, how many people can afford an $80,000 coin? And then the auctioning of the material. I mean, I don't like that because I think that Stax Bowers gets the handle the coins. They get to sell the coins. They make some money. They also get the mailing list of the people who bought the coins. Good for them for doing it. They've got a relationship with the Mint. They sell untold hundreds of millions or billions of dollars worth of their Mint products, so they've got a really good relationship. So I don't blame them for doing what they're doing. I was really a big fan when they did the when they sold the, I think it wasn't it the silver Liberty coin 1 ounce metal where it had the Privy Mark where you could just randomly get one.
Mm-hmm.
That was like really exciting. That was
flowing hair.
I had so many people so excited about that. They loved it.
You got one.
Yeah.
I got one.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's kind of like the Willy Wonka thing, It's like you got the magic ticket.
Exactly.
And I think that's the much, much better. And that would be so exciting for the hobby.
Glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the U.S. Mint, as you know, just had as a new Mint director. It'd be interesting to see. I think he wants to have more products and before they didn't really have a coin collector type person with them, and Paul is actually a coin dealer, so he understands the market really, really well. So I think whatever the Mint's been doing, I think now kind of give it a pass and then judge it's what's going to happen in the next year. I think next 12 months you might see some difference because he's a pretty savvy guy. I really like him a lot. I think he's going to be great for the hobby, and I think that maybe we'll have some exciting things come out of the Mint like those I guess they call them almost like breaks where you have a chance you can get something that when you buy something you never know what you might win.
So Paula and I and Eric have talked about this a lot. We think one of the greatest things that they did was like the W Mint quarter series.
Yeah, I still haven't found one.
I thought they missed. I thought they missed it.
Circulation. That's it. Never got anything new.
Yeah, I still haven't found one of those W quarters in circulation.
I bought some, but
yeah.
What was funny is
I was
sitting with my daughter talking about them, and I was actually looking through a roll of quarters. She walked into her room, grabbed her change, and had one sitting there. And she goes, "What's the hard thing about finding one of these?"
Yeah,
I'm like, I've been looking through rolls. I can't find one of these.
Always
things.
the new people, or
that's great.
Get these amazing
stuff like that.
finds.
Yeah, and I do, and I think there's going to be some excitement. The new coins for the 250 are pretty cool. I love the emerging Liberty dime. I saw one of those for the first time last week. Real beautiful coin, really, really nice.
Beautiful coin. Yeah. So on that note, there is some controversy with that. I don't buy into it, but there is with the olive branch missing from the eagle's talons. Do you think that was? I'm sure you don't believe that was by design.
I have no idea, and I would say that artists probably did not think that.
Yeah.
I would say the artist that was doing it was kind of like, hey, it was his own creativity would be my guess. I think that's probably just somebody looking for something to talk about. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I don't. I'm almost certain it was artistic freedom.
Unless it was actually on a directive. We need an eagle with an olive branch on the coin. It was.
I do think that the U.S. Mint missed an opportunity this year, and I'm not sure if they still have something planned because it's early on. We had talked about it. I mean, we've been talking about it for since the announcement that all the circulating coinage was going to be redesigned, and so excited about that. But we also said when they showed the privy mark that they used for the cents, the Omega privy mark, and then we saw the Liberty Bell privy, we thought, gosh, wouldn't that be a great opportunity for them to put a privy on some circulating coinage and do something similar to the W quarters that they did, like maybe on the nickels or something like that, have people out there searching for the nickels. Because that, I think, was one of the best ideas to bring new people into the hobby, especially kids, because parents were searching, searching pocket change with their kids. And I mean, it was just a huge thing.
A circulating privy mark nickel would be so easy too.
If you have
a couple dies and have at it,
I'm supposed to have dinner with Paul Hollis in the next few weeks. I'll bring that up with him. I'm on the board at the Smithsonian. I'm involved with the collection there, and he wants to see the collection. So when I see him, I'll tell him that was mentioned. So I'll see what we can do.
You feel like carrying your phone around and
your Smithsonian.
I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, we'll do that behind the scenes. Yeah, that'd be great.
So
it's funny when you asked me about my stories, and I was, the first story, one of the ones I thought about talking about was the Smithsonian. It's really my proudest achievement is being involved with the Smithsonian. When I did my Encyclopedia of Gold about 15 years ago or so, I was there almost on a weekly basis doing research, and I was there. They took down the coin collection where it was in the main hall. So coins are going to be off exhibit at the Smithsonian, which would have been a real shame. And I was given the opportunity. They had a space worked out. They told me, because I was working the curator and also the administration. They said if we could raise, it was $2.5 million for private funding for this gallery, we could put coins back on exhibit. And I led the team, and we we end up raising the money for that exhibit, and now it's the Value of Money exhibit. And when they did that, they asked me to be on the board of the Smithsonian Museum of American History, and that was that's probably the coolest 10 years of my career, being on the board there. And I love the museum. I'm super proud of that achievement because they get 3 to 4 million people a year go through the museum, and a big majority of that are kids. So coins get more exposure there than anywhere else, and that's probably my proudest achievement in numismatics.
So the painting that I have behind me right now is the painting of George Washington. You worked at the Smithsonian. You've probably seen this
Uh-huh.
there. I actually worked for Arnold Freeberg.
Oh yeah.
So I actually worked for the artist, and the original, which used to be hanging over the mantle at his home. I'll make this big so people can see this. The original that was actually hanging over the mantle of his home was donated to the Smithsonian.
Oh, cool.
I am all about the Smithsonian. I'm glad you went there. I would be amiss if I didn't ask you what it was like to see some of the world's rarest and most amazing coins. Which one was your favorite?
Well, that's probably the iconic coin that everyone loves the most is the 1849 double eagle. It's unique.
Ding
It's
ding, that's mine.
yeah. That's a pretty big winner. I love it. But my favorite coin, if you said here, you can have a coin, and you can't ever sell it, you can just own it. The coin I would like is there are actually two of them, and they're slightly different. Is the 1877. The $50 gold pieces, the unions, those are just the unbelievable coins. There's big, massive gold coins. They're made 1877. There's only two known, one of each known, and there's a big, great story behind those coins. They were in private hands. They traded hands in like 1909 for 10,000 a piece, and then the mint, someone threw a fit, and they get given back to the mint, and now they're on exhibit. So the 1877 unions are my favorite, just visual coins. I just think they're unbelievable.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I can't imagine being able to see those coins on a daily and understand the histories and the stories that you have in your mind. I would like to pick the tar out of them
Yeah.
because
Well,
there's so
but
much.
you have the opportunity, because the reason I did those is I could write that book, 100 Greatest Coins.
Yeah.
The stories I just said are in that book. My Encyclopedia Gold, which is older, I'm working on the new edition of that. But that was why I was at the Smithsonian for 2 years doing research, and daily, almost a weekly basis, going through those coins, and the stuff. And I tell people too. This is another really kind of a neat thing is, when I write books, I enjoy writing them, and I enjoy telling the stories. But what I really gain from it is how much I learn myself by doing those books. I mean, I have to take a deep dive. I tear it apart. I put it back together. History, and I learn so much. And I think that's why I am the numismatist I am today, because of the books I've written, because all the research I've done.
Well, and again, we tell people whether you're searching for coins or doing whatever, practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the more you become proficient at it.
Mhm.
But this is one reason for this channel, is to share information, right? And to do that. And I love teaching people what I learn. I get happy about it. Paula and I talked about when I first started the channel in Cuse, and the epiphany of what that meant, and now how I could see that in the coin. And now anybody talks about this, I'm like, in Cuse, I've got a child's toy that I can represent, and yeah, it's just the examples, and
Yeah.
it's just a fun hobby, and so it's
And that's
fun.
why I like it. I
I
still learn something
like
all this.
teaching.
I'm
Yeah.
still learning all the time. I mean, I've been doing it for
Absolutely.
way over 50 years, and I still learn all the time.
Well, and your availability is amazing. So again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you to coming on. Paula, you
Sir,
want to do what you and I talked about?
No, keeping secrets.
this?
No. So Paula has offered to give away a RedBook. And so we're going to, if you are in chat, I want you to start sounding off. And while we're running this, Mike says, Jeff is a great guy. I wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is I want you to guys start entering thank you, Jeff, in chat. Thank you, Jeff. That's what I want you guys to put on. I will be drawing a name from that, and then that person will win a red book, and they'll be sending it out. So you'll send me the information. It's the new one, 2026. It's the brand new one. And again,
new one, and tomorrow they'll have a 2027.
Yeah.
We're coming to that'll come out in July, just so you know. Everyone watching this, the new one's out in July.
I did have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So I'm also a variety and error person, mostly errors, but so Ken Potter and I talk all the time about the new minting process, and nobody has ever really been privy to seeing it done in person, like, really, really dissecting what's going on. A lot of when we see new errors and stuff, a lot of our diagnostics come from like what's more likely than not. Since you're going to be seeing Paul, what is the best way for one of us to get in touch with someone to be able to actually get down on the floor and see the stuff in person so that it can be written about? When Alan Herbert did his books and a lot of the planchet stuff that they came as far as like the copper plated zinc, a lot of that was speculation because they were never able to actually see the process and stuff like that. So that's one of my questions.
Well, I might out. Are you aware that they in a summer seminar class, they have a class called the Modern Minting Process. That's one of the
Yes.
classes. I've never taken it, but my wife actually took it. She said it was great, and she learned a lot about how they actually make coins. I'm a little bit, probably outside. I don't really deal a lot with what I call mint errors or the modern. I know tons of people love because everyone likes to discover something and change things. But I know that they have a class in that. I don't know if they have it online much, but there is some there.
No, I do. So Greg Bennick does a lot of. I did a show with him a few months ago. He does a lot of stuff with error coins and the minting process. But same thing, there still has not been anybody who specializes in like error coins. It's actually seen in person the minting process now. Since
I'll tell you who should have on your show is an unbelievably great guy. I think he would do it. Is Dave Kammeyer from NGC. He not only for the U.S. Mint, but he's very connected with mints around the world. They actually call him. He'll fly to mints around the world to help them with figure out problems and things. I think he would be the guy to give you a deep dive on the minting process, and he's a really good friend of mine. And Dave Kammeyer, he could give you infinitely more information than I would ever know about that kind of mint stuff because he's been on the mint floor. He understands because NGC has to know that because when they're grading coins, they, why are Silver Eagle spotting, for instance, or why is every coin got a bag mark now that used to be all 70s, and they fly him into the mints and he goes in and helps them with their processes to figure that out. So he's definitely the guy that you want to talk to.
Okay, perfect.
Most of the information available is right from the U.S. Mint on their YouTube channel.
I'll get it from you. I'll get it from you.
Yeah.
And my second question was, what is some advice that you can give those of us who deal a lot with social media? And I spend a lot of time on Facebook and stuff, helping people and answering questions and looking at coins. And there is so much bad information out there.
Right.
What is some advice that you can give those of us who are educators and
right.
What's the best way we can combat that? Because I can't explain to somebody the minting process in a 30-second video. So that's the younger generation. That's all they want to see. They want to see these, short little clickbait, 30-second videos. And
right. Yeah. Well, if that 26 red book you have there's a page in the front of the book. I did a chapter called Misinformation and Numismatics, and I said that, there's no state quarter worth $25 million, so that's just clickbait trying to get you to get in and get ads and things like that. It's not a problem just with coins. It's everything. I go through Facebook now and I see stories. And I say, well, that's just, that can't be real. And it's really kind of like discouraging because you don't know what's real and what's not anymore. And I think that you have to just, use a little bit of common sense, I guess. And then
That's
when
the
you look at a
problem.
story, yeah, and I don't know how many people have common sense. That's another, maybe
It's
an
not
issue.
common.
Yeah,
Well,
having to doing it. But I think as educators, you just have to put as much, that's why I do what I do, is trying to, give people, genuine information. And that's why the Red Book, I mean, it's the basics, and it tells you a lot of stuff. In general, the whole thing about mint errors being worth a whole lot of money is, we all know that, there's lots of mint errors that are $10 that people think they're worth $10,000. So that's just every once in a while, like a 1983 penny, I think an auction of the day sold for $10,000 or $15,000, the copper one. I get probably 3 calls a week on it. Can I bring mine in? You send it in for me. And I said, well, it costs $50 to do that, and that's like, I've never seen a real one, so it's really it's not it's just, we all just have to fight the battle to try to put real information out there. And I don't think it's like whack-a-mole. You're never going to be able to stop it. You just got to deal with it.
the 82D small date
It's
bronze,
exactly like
Yeah.
that.
what, by the way, is in the Red Book.
Yeah, it's in
But
there.
if you
But
have
you
two
know,
of them,
it's-
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I get, that's my email. I do a lot of
Yeah.
Lincoln Cents, and
yeah.
I used to get hundreds. And as soon as you say no, that's not one, that's it's zinc plated.
I
can see
am
the
a
plating.
fan of the 82D small date copper
Yeah.
because, in my opinion, no matter how many questions, everybody that looks at that coin and thinks that they might have it is a potential new collector.
Oh yeah, it gets
That
your
coin-
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, that coin probably is responsible for bringing more people into the hobby than any other coin, in my opinion.
But the problem is they get combative when you tell them that's not what you have.
Yeah. If
Well,
I had to give advice, that's the
you
biggest
lose
one.
people too, but
When you talk to an expert, don't argue with them. That's
Yep,
the biggest one.
exactly.
the
I
problem is
hate that.
knowing if
Yeah.
they have expertise or not, right? That's
Right.
the problem.
Yeah. I'll give
So
I'll give someone like three back and forths before I block them.
Yeah. I'm
There you
getting
go.
better.
Not a bad idea, Paula. I don't even do Facebook stuff because
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
Yeah.
They know
ruins
me.
my day, and
Like,
I do this
that's
to
my-
relax, not to have my day ruined.
That's my problem is I'll spend all day. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I want so bad to convince them. And I will spend so much time, and it's just, it's frivolous sometimes. I mean, it's, but
So I have one more question, and this is something that I've seen 2 or 3 people put into chat. I have to ask the very first question that came out was from Les Niederman, that said, any specimen World War II Mercury dimes, the short sets. Do you think there's any of those still out in the wild?
What's the question?
The specimen set, the 1941 to 1945, it was a group of like 15 to 18 coins that came out. PD and S. They want to know if you think
You talking
that
about
they're
mint? You talking about a mint sets? Are you talking about mint sets?
It's called a short set. It's the World War II short set. It's the Mercury dimes from 41 to 45. And they're
Well, that's not a mint product. I mean, the mint made, in 1941 through 1945, they made mint sets, but there were double mint sets that, come in the envelopes with the, with the cardboard holders and stuff. So I think what he's talking is probably something that was put together as a private marketing thing.
okay.
It's my guess.
Yep. And then the other one comes from the pair of Jacks.
we need
Jack Riley and Jack Young. Yeah, look at the Red Book.
Yeah.
And they want to know, what is your assessment of kind of where we're at in the hobby with the recent insurgent of counterfeits, in particular, some of the ones that have been well documented that are starting to show up in the TPG holders once again.
Right. Well, the good thing about the hobby is if you buy coins from a reputable dealer and that have buybacks and guarantees, you're protected. I mean, I don't really know of any cases where someone's like bought a counterfeit from a P&G dealer or an A&A dealer and like can't get their money back. So there is protections there. Now, I think he's talking about with some companies, they'll make like these large cents that this guy named Jack Young that's on the case on them. They will find like a early large cent that the grading services missed. It'd be like a circulated coin. And the grading companies, they do take them when they're pointed out. They take them off the market. They'll buy them back. I know they both have a budget. NGC, PCGS, and CACG has a budget for it, and it's something that they try to be diligent on. I think occasionally I'll see like an early large cent or maybe a bust quarter or a $50 or something like that. That's like so good it's really hard to tell. Especially the Chinese have gotten good at doing artificial circulation. So they'll take the coin and really wear it down and put fake patina on it. They can be difficult. But I think the hobby's pretty well protected by the third party grading. And I haven't seen any clients that have been damaged by it that haven't been able to get their money back. So I think the hobby's still pretty safe. And I think the biggest thing is it's like, if you go to the flea market, there's a good chance you'll buy a fake. If you buy it from an established dealer's website, you're probably not going to get a fake because most dealers are, I feel pretty confident that I don't sell any counterfeit coins. I've looked at every coin and I seldom see a coin that I even have a question about. Oh, you're mute there.
You're muted, Frosty.
I am muted again. I tell myself to do that so that I don't inadvertently say something or make noise.
Okay.
No, I appreciate the assessment. And a lot of people are like, we have Jack Young on. We talk about counterfeits and some of the things that he's identified. And
He's in the chat.
people are like, well, why do I even get into the hobby? And I remind people, it doesn't matter what you get into, whether it's artwork, gemstones, cars, shoes,
baseball cards,
flip-flops.
all of them. They're all counterfeited.
Right. Eric's number one trivia thing, the number one most counterfeit item in the world is flip-flops, chunklets,
Slippers. Yeah.
Yeah, slippers.
Well, I have a good observation. Can you imagine the hobby without third-party grading?
Oh yeah, that'd be.
Yeah. We wouldn't probably be on the talking right now because the hobby would be so small it wouldn't be relevant.
So, but yeah, just again, trusted sources, right?
Yes.
Make sure you do your trusted sources, and remind yourself that numismatic silver and gold don't go on sale. You're not going to find 50% off.
No.
Right.
So if you see those kind of things, just be smart. And again, ask lots of questions. So I'm going to ask the one question. I'm going to put you back up here. This is the one question that I ask all of my guests.
Yeah, I need to go in about 5 minutes. So you
okay.
Give me about 5 more minutes of questions. Okay.
Final question.
Okay.
The pearl of nugget, the piece of wisdom that is essentially you. What does Jeff Garrett want us to know?
Oh, that's a good thing. Well, I think it's probably that knowledge is the basis for the hobby. I mean, you need to understand grading. That's really, really important. And try to find something you love and and try to learn it. So like if you're new to the hobby, don't try to buy everything. Try to find a series that you can really like and love, and like, let's say Morgan Dollars, and try to become proficient at that series. And then when you do that, you can extrapolate that to almost any other series. You've learned about how grading works. You know who the trusted dealers are in the world. You know where the good book sources are. So pick a series you love and to take a deep dive in it. And I think you'll fall in love with it. And coins are kind of like dating. If you date them for a while, hopefully you'll fall in love, and that's what makes the hobby beautiful.
And if you're Paula, you'll never get rid of them.
That's a fact.
That's right.
I love them
Jeff,
all.
I got to tell you, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to come join us.
No problem.
To have the conversations. It's great to hear your aspect and your insight on these things. I would more than welcome you back anytime. If there's something that you want to drop, you want to put out some information on the RedBook or something new that you think is interesting, or you learn something that you want to do, please let me know. And I have an open door for you anytime you want to.
Tell everybody in chat about you and Jeff, or you and John's YouTube channel and podcast that you do.
Oh yeah, we've been doing a podcast. I did a really great one last week. I interviewed an agent from the Secret Service about counterfeits. So there you go. That's a topic we were just talking about. We had about a 45-minute talk with one of the special agents for the Secret Service, and that'll probably post in a week or two. But our RedBook podcast, we do it comes out about once a week, I think, with somebody. I'm kind of proud of the fact that John and I, between the two of us, we have access to a lot of people that may or may not be willing to do a podcast somewhere else, and we've had some really great guests on.
Fantastic. Yes, you have.
I appreciate it.
love
If
your
we want to
channel.
get that link in there, Robert Bruce is the winner of the RedBook. So Robert, if
right.
you will, and I got to tell you something, out of the people that could have got that, it went
He's
to the right
perfect.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super
Okay.
happy.
It went to the right person. This is a person who absolutely can use this, new to the hobby, learning, asks a lot of the questions that we just talked about.
Right.
And so I'm very, very happy that Robert
And
Bruce is
just
the one that
mentioned
won
he
this.
was in the market to buy a RedBook.
There you go.
Outstanding. So
Well, I'm
congratulations
also
to that.
Yeah, I'm also, if anybody watching it, it's easy to contact me. You can Google Jeff Garrett. It's easy to find just send me an email. If anybody has inquiries, I sit in the morning, my morning routine as I get a cup of coffee, and I do emails for about an hour or two. So if anybody wants to shoot me one, I'm happy to help answer.
Sounds like a plan. And you're always welcome. I do story time for the first 30 minutes on Saturdays. Come check out the stream if you have time.
I'll do it. Okay, well, thanks for having me on,
All
and
right.
you guys have a good one. We'll see you guys later. Take care.
See you soon.
Appreciate you,
you.
brother.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, how fun
All
was
right.
that?
That was great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Folks, Jeff Garrett. And again, I got to tell you, there's a lot of amazing people in this hobby. There are a lot of people who want what's good for the hobby. There are a lot of people that take tons and tons of time. The knowledge that just was poured in on us in 40 minutes, second to none. And why did I reach out to talk to him? Well, a couple of weeks ago or last week, Paula mentioned a bunch of names, and a lot of
I'm a
people
name
didn't know who
dropper.
those names were. Yeah. But what's important is that we start to know who some of those folks are. And so I'm really looking at trying to bring some people on. I'm actually got a couple other things, a couple other people I'm working with doing here around the first part of April. So we've got a lot of different interesting people that are going to be coming on to help you guys look at the hobby in different and new ways. But what a nice guy. I mean, really, what a nice guy. And pardon everybody. Thank you for being gracious with the technical issues that we had when we first got up. But as you said, he's welcome to come up anytime. So Robert Bruce, he says he's so grateful from the bottom of my heart, Paula. And again, dude, I honestly, this is
I'm
so
happy to do
serendipitous.
it.
I'm glad that you won this, Robert. So congratulations.
Books are my
excellent.
favorite thing to give away. Anybody who knows me and has known me for a while knows that that's my favorite thing.
Yep. So in there, Robert, you will see my email. Make sure you send me an email. I will forward your information, include your name, address. I'll get that information over to Paula. Paula's always good to do this.
Education
Pretty
and knowledge
quickly.
should be the cornerstone of your collection.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they say buy the book before you buy the coin.
Yep.
This is a good book to take with you when you go places. Just know this, that if you take it with you, when you go to a coin shop and you stop and you say, what's the price on this? They may reevaluate it. So be careful. Do your research beforehand. I am on F37. I'm on both. We did, because we had the guest on, I did both horizontal and vertical to try to get this into the most hands. Normally I would have just run this vertical, but having a guest on like Jeff, I wanted to make sure it got to as many people as possible. I want to thank everybody in chat for the good commentation back and forth, talking about different things, the banter. To my moderators, Paula and Eric, great questions. What do you think about his comment regarding the U.S. Mint and a stance on the auctions?
Loved
I
it.
love it. I love it.
Absolutely loved it.
It's exactly how I
Yeah.
feel, and All of us here, we talk about this stuff before we go live. And a lot of times that is one of our topics of conversation that we have. And we all feel the same way. It's not good for the hobby, the way they do stuff. So
I was so happy. I mean, like, hey, I want him to know, like, he has his finger on the pulse of what most collectors want to see.
That's good to know that.
The fact that he's having dinner with the mint director in a couple of weeks to sit down and go through this stuff. We have ears of people, folks, that talk to the folks that make the decisions. Let's talk to them about what's going on, what we want. We have an opportunity to put some good information out there and to share this. Let's do that, right? And so Kevin just sent 10 gems. I don't know what the heck the jewels are for, but thank you.
Please go and subscribe to their channel, you guys, the RedBook and GreySheet.
I think it's under the GreySheet.
Yeah, the GreySheet. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. And also the American Numismatic Association, subscribe to that channel too, because they have a learning academy that is fantastic. So.
Yeah, Numismatic is a good one. Don't forget Coin Show Podcast.
Coin Show Podcast, Copper Coins.
So I want you to do me a favor real quick. If you are in chat, first off, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, let's fix that. So subscribe, hit the button. And then what I want you to do is, if you are a part of chat and you are not an ANA member, you do not have an ANA membership, I want you to put a 1 in chat. If you do, put a 2. Okay. If you have an ANA member, put a 2. But if you don't, put a 1 in chat. I think on Monday, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to give away some more ANA memberships.
Nice.
I need to talk with them.
I think Donna's still in charge of memberships there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll reach out and get that taken care of. 1, 2, 3, 4,
we always
5,
gave
6,
one away
7,
a month,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. For 14 people so far saying they're not members at ANA. There's a great opportunity. Pirate Pete says they are a lifetime member. Outstanding.
Fantastic.
Hey, what's going on, Ken Stout? How you doing? You guys, thank you all for being channel members. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something. And you guys, this is coming out of my pocket as a thank you. This will be picked up in both streams. But for those of you who are members, I'm going to gift 20 memberships.
Ooh.
Okay. So if your name pops up on here, congrats. Thank you for being here. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Not ANA memberships, channel memberships.
Not ANA memberships. This is my membership.
Channel memberships.
But we are going to be doing a member stream later tonight. And it's going to include Bifrost.
Nice. Aw,
we are going to talk. We're going to be talking strategy, and we're going to be playing Chinese checkers while we do it.
I've never played.
Nice.
Chinese checkers.
So we're going to do father-daughter family game night. We're going to do it with our members, and you guys are going to be able to ask questions about, how's school going, what's going on with her program, how her art's going. She might even draw something for you guys if you're interested. And hint, hint, wink, wink. If you're there, there might even be something to be given away. Not saying that it will happen, but
Thank you, Pedro, for dropping that link.
Yeah, thanks, Pedro. Appreciate you dropping that.
And don't forget, Jack Young's going to be on the Coin Show podcast right after this.
That's right.
And this will automatically send you there. It's already set up. It's ready to go. You'll get notification when that's done. We'll probably end a few minutes ahead of time.
Yeah, I have
Paula,
to go to church, but I'm already ready, so I'm ahead of the game. So
There
I
you
can
go.
watch a little bit of their show today.
Don't
it's
get
good
used to
see
seeing
you,
me
like,
on screen
physically
either.
see you.
You can physically see me.
Yeah, me
Physically
too.
see you. Looking good. Eric trimmed his nose hair specifically.
That's
for
right.
this.
All 700 of them.
No, but it's good to see your guys' faces. And again, we get so used to being behind screens that we talk ahead of time a lot, but it's something to look at
Oops.
this, right, which is something we do a lot of
Yeah.
versus sitting down and just talking with people and doing that. So it's good to see you guys, because again, I think a lot of people forget that there's a human person behind this.
Well, I would get ready
This
every day,
madness.
every time, but it's too early in the morning for me. I'm
You mean
Pacific.
everybody doesn't get up at 4 a.m.?
No, I actually got up at 4:30 this morning so I could get the shower and get
Heck, I was on my third cup of coffee by 4:30 this morning.
EMR, I don't know if I should. That's a little bit too information. He had his spring trim and then he shaved yesterday.
nice.
Nice.
So, please don't elaborate.
Right.
Fun stuff. Got up at
Good
3:35.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we like to get up early.
And you can pick up,
Copperell says it's about.
you can pick up Jeff's books at Whitman Publishing. Go to
So,
Whitman Publishing if you
Pick
want
that
to
up
get
and show
one of
that,
his.
please.
If you want to get one of Jeff Garrett's 100 greatest U.S. coins, one of the new ones, you can pick it up at on Whitman Publishing on their website.
Okay.
That's where you can also get a RedBook if you don't have a RedBook. I'm going to pick up a Mega Red.
I think I'm going to pick
I've
one
never
up
I think I'm
owned
too.
going
one.
to too.
Yeah, me
Huh?
neither.
I'm going to pick one up too. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to pick it up until July when the new ones come out.
Well, yeah,
The
I
Mega
gotta
Red
wait.
comes out later in the year, doesn't it?
I think didn't he say he's got the new ones coming out in July?
The regular 2027 Red Book is in July.
Oh, I don't know when the new Mega
He
Red.
didn't say anything about Mega Red. And
I
I
don't
think
know.
Mega Red came out a couple months after the regular one did.
Yeah. I think Mike should buy me one
No?
for the advertisement, the free advertisement. No.
Say that one
yes.
more time.
Well, I'm
I
just
said-
looking at Mike's chat.
Oh,
He's saying no. Yes. He's arguing.
Pirate Pete says, Frosty, you guys recommended joining ANA, but we did miss something. Don't
Absolutely. We
forget
did forget Kaneka.
We did forget Connect.
Yes,
so-
Kaneka, most certainly. Most certainly. And you get a bi-monthly edition of Error Scope, which is a great publication with your Kaneka membership. Also with your ANA membership, you get a lot of times you get free admission to coin shows, and there's all kinds of benefits for both clubs to be members of. The Kaneka forum is great if you have coin questions about errors or varieties. That forum is great. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you might meet me at a coin show. I'm not going to be able to do next month's coin show with Greg. I'm so sad. It's on the same days as, my daughter's coming down and we have a wedding to go to. So I'm so sad.
Somebody
They
said,
actually
"What's
asked me to do a lecture on errors, and I had to turn them down. I'm so sad.
Somebody asked the difference between the Red Book and the Blue Book. The Blue Book, I think, is supposed to represent wholesale
Dealers.
prices
Yep.
versus retail
Wholesale
prices.
versus retail. Mhm.
Both are published by Whitman.
Same information, but you don't need both. Just buy the Red Book.
All right. So I am going to do something.
There is a Kaneka group that meets in Oregon monthly. Is there? I'm not aware. I'm Oregon State rep for Kaneka. I'm not aware of a meeting.
And if there is
They
one,
didn't
she
tell
needs to be
me.
aware of it.
They didn't tell me.
All right. So I'm going to do something.
I am Southern Oregon, Frank. Can you speak occasionally about shows in Portland? There is a show in Portland next month. There is a show in Portland next month, and I believe Greg Bennick will be there
Central
representing
States.
Conecuh. He's Washington State rep, but he will be there next month. Can I come to? Yeah, you want to pay for my? I would listen. Jeff was talking about summer seminar and all that. I would love to go to those shows, and I would love to travel and go to more shows.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's
Money for me.
I
Costs a
can't.
lot of money to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got to bring a lot of money because you got to buy something while you're there.
Yeah. I would love to go to Central States.
All right. So I'm going to do something. It's going to force you guys to share it.
Somebody
It's
come
going to
pick
force
me
us
up.
to get some views. Let me go pull something up real quick, and I'm going to do something. I want to promote this discussion with Jeff. So I want to see something real fast.
It does cost. It costs me when I go up to Portland too. Conecuh doesn't pay for us. When we do this stuff, it's on us. So we typically will get a free table, but as far as like accommodations, we pay for our own. So.
All right. So we've got remember what we talked about, Eric, when you do vertical versus horizontal?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing happened here. I've got to stop doing horizontal or vertical mode. I want you guys to share this out.
Did it. I was surprised that you did it.
I was hoping that we would get more from the other, get some people in here.
I don't think it's working anymore.
If we get to
hit the thumbs up, you guys. Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah. Trying to figure out a way to do this. I'm going to reach out to Jeff, and I'm going to send him a mega red. I'm going to see if he will sign it, and then I'm going to give it away.
Give it away to me? Thanks.
So I've already purchased it, and then when I get it, I'll send it to him.
Oh, fantastic.
So
Aww.
in a month or so, I will reach out. But I have these.
No, Frank, I won't. Next month is the show in Portland. I think they do 2 a year. So, but oh, nice. That's Greg's book.
This is Greg Bennick's book, and these are getting given away next week.
Yay.
So you guys want to be here for that, talking about errors and reclaiming things and the dichotomy. Go check out that video.
Awesome person. He is a straight shooter. He's a great person.
Yep. Fun stuff. All right. Well, don't forget, in about 12, 13 minutes, Coin Show Podcast is going to be live. This will take you there.
Yep.
So as we wrap up the stream, it'll say, hey, it's going to forward you over. Go over, check that out. Paula, Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you again, everybody. Thanks
you.
for coming. Have a blessed Sunday.
It was a ton of fun.
See you guys later.
I'll see everybody soon.
Thank you. All right, folks, as always, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us. Just a couple things as we wrap up. Number one, we have the opportunity, and I keep telling you this, everybody in this stream has the opportunity to be a really good numismatist. They can be good for the hobby. Doesn't matter if you're a stacker, if you're a collector, doesn't matter if you like art or gemstones. You have a capability to be a force in your hobby. Look at what Jeff Garrett's done over his 30, 40, 50, 60 years in the hobby. He's learned something and then went on to something else. His suggestion, his final thing was understand grading. Understand what it is to know the coin. When we talked about investing, he says don't necessarily use numismatics for investing, but if you're going to, do your research. We've talked about this before. If you want to hear about why I did this, go check out the Stack Collector, which is probably the number one mistake coin collectors make. And again, not doing your research is a big deal. I want you all to know that we're here to support and to help you, to grow you as coin collectors, and to grow the hobby. I appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you so much. Be well, be blessed, and I'll see you in the streams. Take care. See ya.